explain from third. Please develop our program for the value of swap contract, swap rate, and swap curve. So this is the first homework. Value of swap contract. As I explained, the value of swap contract is just exchange of two bonds, floating bond and fixed rate bond. Basically, in the swap contract, they exchange basically interest rate, but they make principal basically are same. They set principal same, and from that principal, there is a cash flow, interest cash flow, and they exchange that. So if we add both sides the final cash flow face value, then it becomes a cash flow of the floating rate bond and fixed rate bond. Anyway, because we exchange exactly the same face value at the end of the period because they are same, actually we don't have to exchange that, right? So this part is value of the floating rate bond, right? It is a coupon rate, so this is a coupon because it is semi-annual coupon, so it is the amount of the coupon, and we discount this fixed coupon and add them all. This is the present value of all coupon payment, and this part is the present value of the final face value. And this is the present value of floating rate bond, which is the same to face value, right? As I explained. Therefore, the gap between this one and this one, receive floating and pay fixed value of the swap contract. So this is homework number 1. But when two parties enter into a swap contract, it should be fair. It means that value of the swap contract should be 0 at the initiation, right? And then if we set this 0, and then we can solve for C, then it becomes a fair swap rate. And then if you put this part to 0 and solve for C, then you have this formula. This is homework number 2. And then suppose we have a series of C for different t, then we can, because we obtained because we obtained swap curve, swap rate from this zero coupon bond, which means that in other way, if we have a series of this swap rate, we can solve for this zero coupon bond on the other hand, which is called swap curve basically. And then the formula is, no, this is not formula. Where is it? Where is the formula for swap curve? Yes, this one. Okay. So given the swap rate, and then so the very first, with the very first swap rate, we can get very first zero coupon bond price or discount factor, and then from the next one, using the next swap rate, and then previous zero coupon bond, we can iteratively solve for all remaining, okay, all remaining zero coupon bond prices. Okay, so it's another one. Okay, because so swap rate is very important because it's sometimes we want to know discount factor for like 30 years. But in the market, there is no 30-year zero coupon bond in the market. There is no such thing. But in the market, there is very long-term swap contract. Therefore, by using the information contained in swap contract, you can recover the discount factor for a very long period. So this is very important. Yes? Input and output. Of course, the easy one is for this one. Input is the swap rate. Okay, input is swap rate. You can arbitrarily, you can generate arbitrary data for swap rate, and if you upload the data to your program, then it should generate a series of zero coupon bond price, something like that. And then for this homework, then it is if you plug the series of zero coupon bond price, and then you should be able to get the coupon rate. Oh, by the way, I think I have a more interesting idea. Actually, write R program for swap rate, swap contract, and then recover your initial zero coupon bond price using the swap rates you generated. Okay, so what I want you to do is, okay, first this part is easy. This part is easy. Then in your input, okay, for this one, in your input, you have a series of zero coupon bond price for different M. In this case, for different M, you have a different C. So by plugging series of zero coupon bond, you can get a series of C, right? For different M. Because here, basically, this is a function of M, so well, I can change it. So basically, it was C0TM, basically. So by plugging zero coupon bond price, you can generate series of the swap rate, and then now it becomes your input. It becomes your input, and in turn, you generate this one. Okay, so this should be consistent to each other. You plug in your zero coupon bond price, then you calculate series of the swap rate. Now you plug the series of swap rate, and then you recover original zero coupon bond price. Is it okay, Dave? Is it okay? Is it clear? It is not difficult, right? Because you have the formula, and now you can use the for loop sentence, right? Loop structure in R, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, so this homework is okay, right? 장슬기 학생 질문? 괜찮아요? 네, 이거 괜찮은 homework이에요. It should be fun. Yeah. Oh, by the way, my MBA student gave me this one, right? It looks cool, right? Yeah. It was very cold in the morning, and now it is hot. And then next homework is, okay, let me explain this one first. Homework number 1 is due this Friday, so the day after tomorrow. Please describe your data. Some of you may not have started collecting your data. However, you should at least have some ideas on what kind of data you will use and how you will collect the data and what sources you will use, etc. Right? You can describe them. The data can be secondary database, qualitative data, cases, or if you want to interview, then it is like a name of interviewee or position of interviewee, something like that. So again, you don't have to collect the data right away. It is like your plan to collect the data. What data you will collect. Okay? Maybe you fail to collect this data, it would be fine. Then you have to find alternative data. But at least you should have some thought about your data at this stage. Okay? So it is due by the day after tomorrow. It shouldn't be that difficult. And then next one is again due next Wednesday. Please fill out this form. Print out, submit to both class discussion board and to me at the beginning of class. So you upload you fill this form, okay? You fill this form and then upload it in the discussion board and also print out and please submit here in the desk, my desk, okay? And in order to fill out this form, you can go to File and then you can download it as MS Word and you can download it. And you can type here and submit it. Okay. Okay. And then let me explain this form. First, you should fill this form with your research idea. First type. It is either exploratory idea or empirical research or theoretical research. I think most of you is like either descriptive research or empirical research, I think. And the question, what is your research question? Write down your research question here. And argument, why is your research question important? Why it is interesting? You fill out your argument over here, which you already did, right? It's easy. And framing, this is important. Now you have to set your strategy for your research. Your research is either deductive or inductive, right? Deduction starts from premise. Induction starts from the data, right? So you have to frame your approach. You have to find the frame. You have to determine the framing of your research. Like deduction is like this. every human dies. Socrates is a human, therefore Socrates will die. Actually, he's dead, but that's the deduction, right? Or induction is swan 1 is white, swan 2 is white, swan 3 is white, swan 100 is white, therefore swan is white, something like this. Right? You decide which one you want to do. Now, theoretical lens, this is directly related to your research literature review. What is the key literature papers related to the paper? What is the consensus of existing literature? And what is the limitation of existing literature? Okay, you write down. And next one is a theoretical approach. Now, actually, you have to derive your hypothesis, so you have to write down. I think most of you will be verbal explication, but maybe some of you write down some mathematical model, and by solving that mathematical model, you can derive some prediction. That would be fine. Or some of you may want to use a computational model. You may write down some simulation model, simulate it, and from simulation, you can generate some predictions. Okay. Otherwise, you can just write down logical arguments, blah, 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 and you can generate some hypothesis. That is your theoretical approach. I guess most of you will be verbal explication. Next is very important part. You have to develop hypothesis. Okay? Hypothesis should be like this. Term A, term B. Hypothesis 2 would be like a term C, term D. Something like this. Here, so A, C is called independent variable, and B and D is called dependent variable. So when A changes, B changes. Right? When there is no police, the more the policeman, the lower the crime rate. Well, policeman is A, number of policemen A, crime rate is B. Something like this. And then construct, okay? In this case, we have 4 constructs. In the hypothesis, we have 4 constructs, A, B, C, D. They are constructs. Okay? So you have to explain what you mean by A, B, C, D. The more policemen, the less the crime rate, the lower the crime rate. Then you have to define what you mean by number of policemen. Number of policemen is like that's actually obvious, right? Number of policemen. But crime rate, when you say crime rate, you have to be specific. When you say crime rate, you want to include either white collar crime or street crime or like serious crimes or minor crimes, something like that. Okay. Then context, either industry, you may want to examine industry or stock market, bond market, or some phenomenon like this. And the unit of analysis is like I think most of you will be, if you investigate case study for some particular bond or firm, it is firm. If you have data, if you want to do survey for people, then unit of analysis will be individual. If you want to analyze some particular event like earnings announcement or fraud, those things, it would be event level analysis. If you collect bond or firm data at each year, then it is a firm year analysis because for the same firm, you treat that firm differently for each year. So it is firm year analysis. Any question up to this point? Any question? No. Okay. Next one is sampling strategy. So it is basically related to your homework due this Friday. Basically description of your data. You can either use a database like FN Guide, or you may want to use bond data at Yahoo. By the way, there is bond data at Yahoo. Bond data, Yahoo. Yeah, Bond Center. And Bond Center, if you go there, then you can get US Treasury bond rate, and you look like IBM. Yeah. Then is IBM stock price? No. Anyway, bond price and bonds, I think, composite bond rate, bond market summary, bond screener. You can go to bond screener, and then, you know, you have a corporate bond, and then price any. You can find some bond data over here. Anyway, so like a database, if you want to use FN Guide or Yahoo Bond Monitor, it is database. Or like archival data. like media data or like firm's internal document, like that. Or maybe you want to do survey, or maybe you want to do some case study, or you want to do maybe experiment for people. So it is up to you. I'm open to all sampling or research strategy. As far as it fits to your research question, they are fine. You can just pick the optimal research strategy for your research question. And then sample, yeah, you can describe your sample here like this, and the measures. Here, dV is dependent variable, IV is independent variable. So dV is in hypothesis, dV is B and D. IV, independent variable, is AC. So this one overlaps the construct. So you write down concepts, construct name, and you briefly describe it, and range is like values from 0 to 1 or 0 to 100, minus 10 to plus 10, something like that. It is either continuous data, like bond yield, they are continuous data. Or if you want to compare, but if you want to compare government bond and corporate bond, it is like cardinal, right? Yeah. And the empirical model, for this part, you can skip this part, okay? This part, and finding, and then finding, you can skip this part as well. Finding is basically you reject or cannot reject the hypothesis, something like that. Okay. Hypothesis 1 is accepted, hypothesis 2 is rejected, something like that. But since you haven't finished your empirical analysis yet, so there is no findings yet, so you can skip this part. And a contribution is, well, you have to argue why your research is interesting, and basically why academic people, academic researchers, you have to argue why academic researchers or industry people or practitioners should read your research. How your research creates value to academic people or industry people. That's the contribution. So this is due by next Wednesday. This homework would be easy if you did your homework, if you have done your homework well up to this point, because it is just summary of what you already did, basically. But if you haven't done your homework properly, then it would be hard to do this homework. Any question about this? No, no Korean bond. For Korean bonds, I think we don't. Hanyang University doesn't have data, so I don't know. You have to find your own way of finding the data.
So Yahoo Finance has bonds about America.
Yeah, only U.S. bond. Yeah.
If my subject is like phenomenon driven,
Beg your pardon?
phenomenon driven,
Phenomenon driven. Okay.
then how can I write the hypothesis? Because it's like, for example, my thing is that which one is the leading market between the greatest bond market? So should I write like if the credit changes, the bond gets impact, or and the other way around?
Okay, so your research question is how credit market affect bond market. Okay, is that your research question?
Yes.
That sounds a bit trivial, but anyway, in that case, I don't know, the more volatile credit market is, the more volatile bond price. But that is a tautology. Bond is credit product. Anyway, I think to make your research question more interesting, maybe there is some characteristic, there may be some variable that move credit market, like macroeconomic variables. In that case, you can write a hypothesis with that. When inflation rate goes up, credit market, the higher inflation rate, like you can say, well, future bond price or whatever, something like that. Okay. So anyway, when you do more generally, suppose you do case study in credit market or bond market. Suppose you have some case study about credit product. Then suppose you have two cases for credit product 1 and credit product 2, and then maybe the two credit products are almost identical except one fact. Okay? Then you can generate hypothesis if that one fact is difference, then how the price of the credit product change, something like that. And then this you have two cases. One in case 1, that factor has value of 100. In the second case, the value of the factor is like 200. And then the value of two credit factor prices are different in some way. Then you can relate the change in your independent variable and the change in dependent variable. Change in independent variable is a change in the hidden, the important factor that you are interested in, and change of dependent variable is bond credit product price change, something like that.
Can you upload an example? Like maybe computer can lock.
No.
Computer can lock in. So why it's difficult to understand?
No, you have to use your anyway because everyone will upload their homework. Okay, then if you wait slightly, then you can check other student homework and then use them as a reference. I don't wanna upload prior. It is possible if you go through the my prior students, like a previous semester, and you can ask around. Maybe you can get some sample, but I don't wanna do it officially. Okay. And in addition, this shouldn't be that difficult. Like I gave you a form, and then all your job is just fill it. Why do you need reference? Okay. Yeah, Dave.
Does all favor inverse hypothesis? Because actually I'm thinking of changing my research question. So
You wanna change your research question now?
But I'm just thinking about it. Like if let's say my research question is like, does China have a lot of state-owned enterprise?
Beg your pardon. What is your research?
China SOE.
Yeah.
Yeah, like let's say they are gonna have reform. So it's like I'm gonna say what's the impact of the reform on the bonds. So like you can't really have a hypothesis because it's hard to form.
Yeah. So your research question is. So let's fill this one with your research question. So your research question is what? Exploratory or empirical theoretical? Okay. Or descriptive or taxonomies? Okay, so this is yours, and then your research question is how do Chinese SOE reform effects, okay, influence credit market?
Yeah, credit holder. That means those people who are holding their bond. Or what happens to their bond basically? Like because the SOE issues a lot of bonds.
Okay. Okay. This is your research question. Sounds good. And then this is SOEs. Why SOEs? SOEs issues I need to ask. But why I need a blue line, green line? Anyway, okay. Here's another. It doesn't look. Okay, this is your research question. And then your argument is, okay, suppose you have answer for this one. And then what? It is inductive or deductive? You want to start from premise or start?
Because you don't know what happens to the bond price yet. Because the reform is now. This reform is like we are planning the reform.
Okay, so I think it would be theory driven then. You take a look at other market case, for example, and then generalize that one, and then you generate prediction. Okay, so it is like a theory. So from other cases, you generate theory, and from theory, you generate prediction. So theory driven. And then I assume it is easy for you. And then it is a verbal explication, I think. And then hypothesis is the more. So what kind of, there are a lot of ways of reforming Chinese SOE. What are the examples? Privatization. The more the privatization of Chinese SOE, the lower their bond prices. Something like this?
Yeah, that's why that's the problem. Because they have multiple coupons, so you need a common.
Okay, so let me generate hypothesis arbitrarily. So hypothesis 2 maybe, the more the probability, now the higher, now in the long run, yeah, possibly, I mean, I have no idea, but I'm just generating. So maybe the short-term bad news, maybe long-term good news, and then the more the privatization of Chinese SOE. Now, what is the other as reform besides privatization? Employee compensation. Corporate governance. Well, that is too general, but anyway, you have to narrow down, but let me do this one. Corporate governance, the larger the bond issuance of them, their bond issuance. So if they have a good corporate governance, maybe they issue more. Instead of issuing stock, I don't know, they use more bond market. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, just more bond financing. And then the more the the better. Let's say not is the more, the better. Okay. The better the corporate governance, or the better becomes. Okay. Becomes the corporate governance, Chinese state-owned enterprise, the higher, maybe the lower their, I don't know, that leverage, which is debt equity ratio. The leverage ratios. Okay, so they are the possible hypotheses, and then there is a concept, construct. This is privatization. And then you have to write down, what do you mean by privatization? How much is share? Maybe you want to define privatization when government sold majority, more than 51%. Or maybe you want to define privatization just, I don't know, just significant share. Or you want to privatize when it comes to the entire share. So you have to determine it. And then this kind of bond price is easy. Bond price is easy. Yeah, and then bond price, or actually I actually bond yield. Okay, bond yield. The higher, because bond yield is better, so higher their bond yields. And bond yield, you say it is maybe yield to maturity, not current yield, something like that, maturity. And then you want to define corporate governance. And then there are a lot of dimensions in corporate governance. So actually, this is not good one. In corporate governance, you have to pick one variable for corporate governance and define it. And I think this is a phenomenon driven. And I'm not sure about your data, but I think it is firm level. Actually, it's event level analysis. And the sampling strategy, I don't know. And then this one, you default this one, privatization and concept description range, and then yeah, contribution. Are you clear now? Okay. And then any other 김기태. 네.
At the top, the 5번. This is a kind of anticipating, kind of predicting research question. But
You mean this one?
yes, so I was thinking it was rather theoretical rather than theoretical.
Okay. What is your research question?
Mine is very like basically predicting what will happen to the elections. If could FICC products can it boost up the revenue of Korean financial institutions?
Okay. It might be theoretical. Yeah. Usually theoretical paper is hard because in theoretical paper you have to write down models and blah blah blah. But you can do that. Okay. In that case, it is theory. You basically you want to develop a new theory. Right? Yeah.
아까 주제를 잘못 말했을 때 제 주제가 이제 새로운 CRA나 아니면 CDS에 대한 새로운 정보가 마켓에 얼마나 즉각적인 타격을 줄 수 있느냐 이런 건데 그런 건 이제 how much의 개념인데 저걸 이렇게 뭐가 되면 뭐가 된다 이런 식으로 생각하고 있어요. 그냥 얼마나랑
그러니까 언제는 많이 되고 언제는 조금 영향을 줄 수 있잖아.
그거에 대한 영향을 어떤 것들이 주는지에 대해서
Like the higher economic uncertainty, the more the relationship between, the more sensitive the relationship between CDS market and something else. 뭐 이런 되겠죠.
그리고 예를 들어서 CDS랑 CRA랑 어떤 곳이 리딩 마켓인지
CRA가
S&P랑 크레딧 에이전시즈
credit rating agencies. Okay.
그 CRA 레이팅이랑 CDS가 어떤 게 더 리딩 효과가 있는지 그거를 가설로 설명하고 싶어요.
The higher the CDS rate, the lower future variables. 리딩이니까 뭔가 퓨처 뭘 리딩하는지 뭐 타겟이 있을 거 아니야.
CDS가 만약에 증가하는 걸 CRA가 받아들이는 거잖아요. CRA가 올라가는 걸 CDS가 받아들이는 거죠.
그러면 먼저 올라가는 게 더모 A가 되고 나중에 받은 거데 더모 B가 되겠지. 뭐 그런 식으로 하면 되겠네. 아무튼 타겟이 있고 A, B, CRA, CDS 레이트 그다음에 타겟이 있으니까 이 관계가 하나, 둘, 셋 뭐 이런 식으로 하겠네. 여러 가지 관계를. 잘 이렇게 생각해 보도록 하세요. 예.
가설의 개수 자체는 그냥 효과적으로 쓰기 위해서 자기가 생각하는 이제 과정이 따라서 가설의 개수는 자기가 이제 정할 수 있는.
그렇죠. 예. 하여튼 어쨌든 쉽게 가설은 반드시 더모 A, 더모 B 이런 식으로 꼭 웬만하면. 과제 자체에 대한 질문. 오케이. 과제가 과하다. 뭐가 많아? 지금 시험 기간도 아닌데 우린 시험도 없는데 뭐가 많아요? 다음 주에 무슨 시험이 있어요? 한 과목밖에 없네. 원가 과목 쉽잖아. 원가 회계. 코스트 베너핏 어널리시스. 뭐 공부할 게 뭐가 있어? 회계학 중에 제일 쉬운 게 원가 회계 아닌가? 브레이크 이븐 뭐 이런 거 계산하는 거 아닌가? 나도 하도 오래전에 배워서 잊어버렸는데 뭐 그런 거잖아. 그거 약간 수학 알면 쉽게 풀리는 것들 아닌가? 중학교 수학으로 다 되잖아. 코스트 어카운팅. This is not difficult at all. 제일 쉬운 건데 코스트 어카운팅이. 그 정도는 쉽게 해야 돼. 뭐 어려우게. 그 코스트 어카운팅 교수님한테 가서 강영구 교수님 과제가 너무 많으니까 시험 좀 연기해 주세요. 그러고. 교수님이 어떤 분이지? 코스트 어카운팅? 교수님이 누구시죠? 예? 조문희 교수님. 잘 모르는 분이네. 뭐 어쨌든. 예. 그러면 내가 이해할 테니까 어쨌든 해. 어쨌든. 예? 완벽하게 못하더라도 어쨌든 해봐요. 예. You mean the background information? You don't need that. You don't need it right now. But if you want to write down background information, then you can write it. There is plenty of blank spaces like this, so you can write down background information here. background information, and you can write down essay here. Okay, next page, something like this. Okay, it is up to you. That would be very kind. Okay, that would be very kind. I can understand your table much easier. That would be very kind. Okay, good idea actually. So if you want to write this table, if you believe this table is maybe too easy, too restrictive, and you want to say more than this table, then please use these blank spaces, whatever creative way you want. Okay? If you think this table is too narrow, and then you can maybe you can add a couple of lines. It is up to you. Okay. And yet, believe me, this table is very, very important. If you write down this table, if you develop this table well, you writing your paper becomes very, very easier. This table gives the structure to your term paper. So this is the initial submission, but while you are writing down your term paper, I expect you to keep revising this table, actually. So over time, this table would become better and better. So because of the cost accounting exam, maybe your first table would be too terrible, but I expect you become better and better. So at this stage, don't be too, overwhelmed by the homework. Starting is important. Any other question? What measure? Yes. So basically, at this stage, this part and this part will overlap a lot. Yes, but you have to write down whether they are dependent variable or independent variable. Again, dependent variable is here bond yield, bond prices, bond financing, leverage. Independent variable is privatization and corporate governance. And the range is corporate governance is either good or bad, right? So it is like ordinary. And then bond yield is a continuous variable, okay? Yeah. Privatization is either doing, maybe privatization can become either continuous or binary. If you define privatization as the amount of fraction of shares sold to the market, then it becomes a continuous variable. But if you define privatization as more than 51%, something like that, it becomes 0 or 1. It's a binary variable. So it is up to you research question and data. Any other question? 시간이 막 다 되고 오늘 그거 재밌는 거 해야 되는데 지난 시간에 했던 거.
So, like, about the time, it can also, like, privatization can be also continuous and at the same time private.
So it is up to you. It depends on how you define your privatization. If you define privatization as a fraction of shares sold, it is continuous. It is either 50% or not, it is binary. So it is up to you. Range is if it is for privatization, if it is one binary, it is between 0 and 1. If it is continuous variable, fraction of sold, it is between 0 and 1. Now continuous, from 0% to 100%. For it is yield, it is range is just from minus infinity to plus infinity, theoretically possible. Yeah, so. Any other questions? Okay, I don't think I can cover today's topic much, about binomial interest rate model, but since I have about 5 minutes, let me check your homework. of your homework. Where is the due? Okay. 내가 올린 게 어디지? 이 페이지에 있었나? 아, 여기 있네. Okay. So let's take a Richard homework essay. It looks okay. But there is no citation, right? There is no. You have a source, but there is no citation in the body, right? So
No, I just choose like because I based it on the articles, so I just thought I choose sources.
okay. So suppose you make this argument, and then if it is from addings, you have to write down something like this: addings 1, 4, something like this. So your sources, they can appear here only when they are mentioned in the body of the text like this.
Otherwise, you don't have to mention the source.
No, you have to mention source. So whatever you support your argument with this citation, information about this addings 2014 should be in the sources. But on the other hand, whatever paper is in the sources, they should be mentioned in the paper at least once. Okay, so citation here and the reference list here should be consistent to each other. And then about this citation format, okay, citation format, actually, it seems that most of your citations are non-academic. So please use more academic sources. Okay. What I mean by academic is go scholar.com, and then your fees like bond liquidity. Okay, then those are academic paper. So when you cite APA format. And please use APA format for referencing, like this. Okay. So this is APA format. Again, in the Google Scholar, you check cite, click cite, and APA. Okay. And then once you cite, then you mention this one as, like, in this case, Chen Resmond Wei 2007, something like that, in the parentheses. And then Hanel, okay. Essay. Okay. I think you have exactly the same problem. There's no citation, okay? Yes, there's no citation, so it is not literature review. You know, you already did literature, paper by paper literature review already, right? And when you did when you read those academic papers usually have a section for literature review. And those academic papers also cite other people's work. And then there are the good examples. You can just follow how they did it. Okay. Let's take a look at another one, 안준엽. Okay. Comprehensive literature review. Okay, this is okay. So IMF 2010. This is the correct way of citing. Yeah? This part is right. Okay, this is right. But Daisuke, no, this is not right. In this case, first it should be here. And when you cite, you don't write down their first name, just last name. something like this. Just write down your last name and no. Yeah, this one. Miyakawa and Watanabe, 2014, and no italic. Okay, something like this. And then we should be able to find this paper in the list. Miyaka, where is it? Yeah, this one. Okay, and then the format is long. Well, I think this format is maybe right. So let's check it. Wolf color. Let's find the paper and this one, right? Cite, this one, copy, and then delete this one, and then use that format. This is the APA format, right? Yeah, so yeah, it is not. It shouldn't be like this one. Except that part looks nice. Okay, so use APA format, something like this. Okay, so is it clear? Okay, time's up, and see you this Friday.